guys, I see you jumping on. Happy, happy, happy day. It's an exciting day, and we have an exciting topic today. Boy, has this week gone fast for you. I mean, I can't believe it's already Wednesday. This challenge has gone so fast for me, and I've so enjoyed all of our speakers. So listen, welcome as you guys are jumping on from the Facebook group. So many of you are on that Facebook group now, and I want to encourage you right now, start a watch party. Just add some of your friends, invite them to come. We're going to be talking about drama drainers today. Yeah, something we can all relate to. And everybody on the Zoom link, hey, good to see you guys. It's been so fun to wed these two platforms together and have so many of you guys share with me. Yesterday, Rachel and I received an email from one of our previous sessions, and I have to tell you, it just so warmed my heart. This person thanked us and said that her life has changed, and every day she gets up and she looks forward to the challenge. So if that's your story, we'd love to hear from you. I would love to hear how this challenge has benefited you, maybe from one of our speakers or something I've said or just something God has said to you. So we'd love to hear from you. I'm looking at everybody as they're jumping on. So let's just give some thumbs up, some emojis in the chat right there right now. Can you just say it's a great day? Thanks so much, Lisa. I see those thumbs going up right now because this is an interactive coaching time. This is a time that we want to come into community with one another, and a time that we actually want to encourage everyone. We want to help elevate our energy. So as I mentioned to you, today we were going to actually have a special guest, Holly Wagner, who's a great friend of mine in LA. I received a call from her last night, and just you can say a prayer for her today. She's going through just a little situation today, and we're going to just be praying for her. We love her. She's an amazing friend, but she's not going to be able to join us today, which is very interesting because I was going to actually teach one of my episodes on drama drainers. And you know how when your schedule gets shifted, your life has to go down a different path that you had planned. Sometimes it brings drama into your life. So I think this is really a very appropriate topic for today, especially in light of where we are with this recent crisis, this pandemic in our life, this virus that has hit us like many of us weren't prepared for. And there's a lot of drama in our life. So today we're just going to get down. I'm going to actually coach you like I would have a coaching client. Now, many of you who are on this call actually have had me as a life coach. And so you're going to get to see a behind the scenes, how we work together. So this is literally, I want you to get your pen because I'm going to want you to take a lot of notes today. But before we get started, let me just say to you, several of you have just joined us through this 21-day challenge. So if you still need to download for the $19.99, the whole library of the 21 days, be sure you do this. I can't believe we're on day 17. We only have a few days left, and you don't want to miss the teachings. They're an amazing resource to go back. How great was Jedediah yesterday? How great were the tools and the strategies, the one-liners, the concepts, the accountability? And those are resources you can go back and watch. So I just want to encourage you, it's so worth the investment of the $19.99 to have the journal and to have all 21 days. So here's what I want to do right now. I want to walk you through just coaching what a drama drainer looks like and who is a drama drainer. You know, on this challenge, many of us have had to do some course correction. Now listen to me and remember, pen in hand, pen and paper right here. Because I've said to you before, I'll say something to you, and then your mind will think about something. You'll have a thought, or you'll have an insight, you'll get some wisdom or some revelation, and God wants to speak to you. So he uses people to speak in our lives, but he's the one that makes course correction. He's the one that makes application in your particular life with something that's being said. So I just want to say on the onset of our time together that drama drainers aren't just other people. It's not just maybe a spouse or a colleague or a neighbor or a friend. At times we can be the drama drainers. There's times when we can bring drama in our own life. So as much as I'm going to teach today on outside individuals or people, honestly, you can be the drama drainer at times too. Okay, so let's get started. Drama drainers are people who drain your energy. People who drain your energy. Drama drainers can sometimes be someone who intentionally is trying to drain your energy, or someone who is just unaware. It's their behavior, their attitude, their reactions, and it just depletes your energy. So we want to talk about that a little bit today. There's two things I want us to do. And on your paper, if you got your paper with you, this is what I would do in a coaching class, is I would actually walk you through what I want you to do. I want you to learn how to identify and respond to drama drainers. So can you just write in the chat right now, write down, identify and respond to drama drainers. How do I identify a drama drainer? And then how do I respond to that drama drainer? Identify and respond. This toxic behavior actually is so contagious. Someone who's filled with drama and anxiety and issues, when they come into a room, you can actually feel it atmospherically in a room. You can actually even absorb that drama in your own life. So we have to know how to identify it. Do you realize if you're aware of it and you know how to handle it, that you can preserve and protect yourself? You can preserve and protect yourself, really, from a great deal of emotional stress in your life. So what I want you to do on a piece of paper, I did this on my paper here. I want you to write here in one column, write identify, and on the other side of the paper, draw a line. On the other side of the paper, I want you to put respond. So we're going to start with, how do I identify a drama drainer in my life? How do I identify a drama drainer in my life? First of all, drama drainers feed off of your emotional energy. Now, guys, you only have so much emotional energy. Every day you wake up now, and you may even be a little depleted from the day before. If you have not refueled your tank, your emotional tank, if you've not really filled up, you may be drained when you wake up in the morning. And that's why really this whole elevate your energy has been trying to teach you, how do I every day take responsibility for myself? When I go to bed at night, remember we talked about coming up with that journal for the PM, that I talked about what was my purpose and my meaning for today. And if you really replenish your tank, you can start off in the morning with a full tank of energy, but then these drama drainers come along, and before long you find yourself depleted. Yesterday was one of those days for me. I got home and I said to my husband, I'm just exhausted, because I had given a lot yesterday. I had meeting after meeting after meeting and had to deal with some issues. And by the time I got home, I was so exhausted. Now listen, this is just a great application. If I didn't know what to do when I got home last night, I had to literally shut off my phone. I turned on a little bit of music. My husband and I sat down and we played a game of Crazy Eights. We cooked together. We talked a little bit about our day, but we set up a boundary and said, let's don't talk about church. Let's don't talk about people. Let's just try to refill each other's tank. And doing that, literally within an hour, I felt relaxed. But it was my responsibility. If I walked away trying to suck fumes from the day, I would have been really frustrated by the time I went to bed last night. So it's my responsibility to refill my tank. So I want to walk through, literally over on this side, what we need to do to identify drama drainers. Number one, a drama drainer always acts like a martyr. So write that down. You can put it in the chat. Drama drainers are martyrs. They always feel sorry for themselves. They never get a break. They never get favor. No one's ever looking out for them. It's just issue after issue after issue. Drama after drama after all, and everything is a martyr complex. And you find yourself always running to their defense, trying to give them a good word, trying to bring them up out of the ditch, trying to help them feel better, because it's a martyr complex. So the first one is they take on a martyr complex. Number two, they use your good nature against you. Now I want you to write these down, guys, because you're not going to remember them if you don't write them down. They have a martyr complex. Number two, they use your good nature against you. So if you're just kind of that always positive person, they're sucking that emotional drain from you. They're pulling that from you because you're always a positive person. And they're trying to pull that positivity from you because they're wanting it. And they use your good nature against you. Number three, they criticize or belittle you. Now, these are drama drainers. There's always something critical about you, or something that they're belittling you. not making you feel good about yourself. And you sit there and you take it and you don't say anything because you think it's not worth it. I've been down this road again. I've tried this. And literally they're draining you. They're depleting you of your energy because they're criticizing and belittling you. Next, they threaten or intimidate you. Now I have some friends, and I literally went through this exercise. I do this a lot in coaching, and I wrote down 5 names of people that are drama drainers in my life. And literally every one of them had at one point threatened me. Well, maybe I'm not worth, being a friend to you. Maybe we should just cut off this friendship. You don't really ever see it my way. And there was a threat or a criticism or a intimidation that they threw my way. And I always seem to absorb it. I'm always trying to fix the relationship. I'm always trying to keep them up, lift it up, being positive, but they're draining me. And I'm not smart enough at times to know how to respond, which we'll get to at the second part of our coaching. I just want you at this point to identify it. That's a person that every time I'm around them, they criticize me. Every time I'm around them, they threaten me. Every time I'm around them, they belittle me. And you need to start realizing that those particular people in your life are literally taking the energy from you. Next, they use guilt trips or even tantrums. They throw ultimatums down. Now, you know who I'm talking about because it could be a family member. It could be a neighbor. There's a neighbor that my husband had growing up, Mr. Grady. We talk about him all the time. And he literally brought so much drama to the neighborhood, and he lived on that. It was literally how he got attention. He loved being talked about, and it was just a part of his behavior. Everybody talked about him. Sometimes these drama drainers do it because they need the adrenaline fix. They need to stay up. They love the heated conversation. They love the anger. They love to live with the anger because what that anger does is it fuels them, but they don't realize what they're doing is they're destroying everyone around them. So you must identify it. And that's what we're trying to do right now. Think of those few people right now that have these characteristics, these behaviors, these attitudes, and they're bringing it into not only your relationship, but the relationship with others. And then the last thing I think they do is they diminish your problem and they play on their own. You never get to have a problem. Every time you have a problem, they one-up you. Every time you say something, if you're stuck, or if you feel like you can't get a breakthrough, boy, they come through. Yeah, I heard that happened to me once, but even this was worse. So always these drama drainers, it's always they have to one-up you with their problem. So you guys, that's identifying the characteristics of drama drainers: complaining, feeling sorry for themselves, martyr, one-upping you. And you just see them walking in your office and here it comes. You see them walking into a family dinner, here it comes. And it's like they carry their baggage of drama with them. And then they unpack their bags with everyone. And you say to yourself, it's just who they are. We've gotten used to it. But what they're doing is they're depleting your energy. We're on this coaching session to talk to you about how to elevate your energy. And the thing you must do, listen to me, you must identify these drama drainers in your life and identify the characteristics that they have, but then we also must go into how we respond. So how am I going to respond? Again, I said to you last night, I wrote down 5 people that are drama drainers in my life. I identified the characteristics, and every one of them have one of these I just said to you. In our family, well, maybe I just shouldn't come to family dinner if that's the way it's going to be. Nobody seems to understand me. And listen, let me just be real honest with you right now. With the heightened level of anxiety from the election, from the pandemic, this virus has caused dissension in families and homes, and you just say, listen, we can't even talk about it. And we're actually going to get to how we respond in a moment. And that is one of the ways you do that. But it just seems like you can't break through. Many people have asked me, Tammy, how can you coach me on how to deal with this drama right now in our family? Because most of us have divided convictions in our family with the election. Most of us have divided convictions on mask, on back to school, and it's caused drama in our family. And it's called separation in our family. And many people right now just say, well, we just can't get along right now. We just need to take a break from each other right now. So that literally, you must identify that. But how do we respond? Let's talk about that for a minute. So here's the first thing I think you need to do. You need to listen to learn. Can you write that down right now? Can somebody write that in the chat? You have to listen to learn. Don't listen to try to respond. Don't listen to try to win the argument. Listen to learn where they're coming from. I sat down with someone this week who actually has a different political viewpoint than me. And I literally went into the conversation with, I can't wait till they stop talking so I can tell them how I feel. And I remembered this coaching tip: listen to learn. And they're coming from a perspective completely different than me, from a background, from a conviction, from a presupposition, completely different than me. And I had to listen to learn where they're coming from. I'm not going to persuade them over to maybe my conviction on the political side, but I walked away with a deeper understanding of a need that their belief system made way for them that I didn't understand. Do you understand what I'm saying? So before you try to defend yourself and battle something that's not worth battling, try to listen to learn. Because listen, the most important thing here is the relationship with the person, not the political outcome. Are you understanding me? If it's a family member, you have to do everything you can to preserve the relationship with the family member or a close friend. There will be times of separation and isolation and even division. We know that. But the best of your ability, try to preserve the relationship by listening to learn. Number 2, ask questions, don't make accusations. Ask questions, don't make accusations. So usually what happens when you're in a heated discussion with a drama drainer, you actually want to accuse them of something. You want to one-up them. You want to say, you don't think I understand? Let me tell you my story. Let me tell you where I'm coming from. Oh, you think that's bad? And we always want to one up in either an accusation or an example. Can I tell you, it's so much better to ask a question. Maybe say to yourself, you know, I really never thought about it. Can you tell me how you feel? Tell me your story. Tell me where you're coming from with that. And do you realize in asking questions, you can actually solve problems? Again, as I said before, you're probably not going to walk away with a convert in your pocket, but you might walk away with a friendship restored. So it's so important, guys, to learn to ask questions. Be a good question asker. With a drama drainer, let them explain where they're coming from and then say, you know, let me ask a question. Have you ever tried this? Have you ever listened to this teaching? And what you do when you ask a question is you bring down the drama, you bring down the level in the room of maybe even anger or energy in the room, and now you're listening with a loving heart. Number 3, and this one's so important, guys. Again, in this coaching session with you today, write these down because every one of us can think of a drama drainer in our life. This one's so good. Know the triggers. Know the triggers. So for one of the drama drainers in my life, and it's someone that she's going to be in my life for the rest of my life. She's someone that I can't run from, and she's someone that's close to us. So she will be there. And once I began to understand a little bit more of her story, understand where she's coming from, understood some of the pain points and some of the triggers in her life, it helped me to understand where the boundary is where I can go with her. So I have to know certain words, certain expressions. Do you realize that when you roll your eyes, when you walk away, when you turn your back, do you realize those are triggers in a relationship that literally can exasperate the conversation? Can you try to be intentional to sit down and listen? So it could be a spouse, a friend, a colleague, a neighbor, and you know right now there's going to be drama. You know, it's Christmas time. Christmas is coming, and we always know. That's why I love the movie Four Christmases. If you've not seen that movie, so much family drama. We know with the election, there's going to be a lot of drama coming up. So we have to learn how to take each person individually and know the triggers that we bring into that relationship. So it could be words, it could be expressions, it could be behaviors, it could be mannerisms. So know what you bring into the relationship. I literally have to know before going into some relationships, I have to say to myself and practice it, Tammy, ask questions. Tammy, listen to learn. Tammy, don't walk away. Tammy, be intentional about listening and looking and learning. Do you see how I have to coach myself walking into this situation so that I don't inflame or infuse the situation. Next, and we all know this, you've got to establish some boundaries. So we have some boundaries. My daughter, she may be on this, she listens to a lot of these, but my daughter and I have had great conversations. And she said to me, Mom, here's an issue in my life that you and I seem to see differently. So I'm going to ask you, this is a boundary for me, and I'm going to ask you that this particular area we don't discuss. And you know, it's been the healthiest thing that my daughter can say to me. So I literally know there's an area that she's uncomfortable with, that I might think differently about, but it has preserved our relationship as a mother-daughter. We are so close, I would say best friends. I love my relationship with my daughter, but there's a certain area that we had to establish a boundary that we would not see eye to eye on, and it has made our relationship healthier. So there will be times with people in your life, and you might say, hey, I love you, but we can't talk about politics. I know that you think differently than me, but I love you beyond your view or my view of politics. Hey, during this pandemic, during this virus of COVID, I don't see the same things you see. I don't see eye to eye with you. So can we agree that that won't be a conversation we have? Can we talk about the things that we have in common? Can we have a good dialogue and a deep friendship about the things we do have in common? And do you see how you've preserved, by setting up a boundary, that particular relationship? The next one, and I think this is very, very important, you have to adjust your expectations. Adjust your expectations. Do you know, guys, not everybody's going to see eye to eye with you. And what makes you think you're right all the time? When I realized this one, it actually began to preserve the relationship I have with my husband, because my expectations of the way I see things were so high when it came to certain convictions I had or certain behaviors I had. I came from a completely different home than my husband did. I came from a home with a lot of energy and a lot of people and an open door policy. My husband came from a home as an only child with elderly parents, and they were very private and very cautious. So the two of us came together with our worldviews, and we saw things differently. I had to change my expectations of what our policy was at home, and we had to come to a conclusion together. I had to literally adjust my expectations of how I thought our home should be run to preserve our relationship. Now, this one's a tough one, and I'm going to be honest with this. I've had to do this with a few people, and this really is a really, really good one on how you respond to some drama drainers. There are some that you just have to cut out of your life. You have to cut out of your life. There are some friendships and maybe even family members that you have to cut out of your life. Maybe it's for a season, maybe it's for a short time, maybe it's indefinitely, I don't know. But give it everything you have. Don't cut them out too soon, but there may come a point in your life that you literally have to cut someone out of your life. Now, I want to say, first off, that you have to make sure that you do this with grace. You don't do this with a sense of arrogance. You don't do this with a sense of, we're never going to agree. Wait, look, it's a boundary I have with you, and we're never going to agree, and I'm going to cut you out of my life. And that's not the response that I ever believe that Christ has for us. But for the sake of maybe the rest of your family or the sake of your health, there might be people that you literally have to cut out of your life. Now, that's when I want to tell you that you have to go with a lot of prayer. You have to take some time. Don't be so quick to do that. Pray over it. Give yourself some time, but there might be someone you literally have to cut out of your life. And then that last one I want to share with you is you must guard your emotional capacity. Guard your emotional capacity. You guys, you only have so much energy, and you only have the capacity for so much energy. It is your job to be the watchman over your heart. Listen to me. You will stand, again, I said this from the beginning, we all stand individually and independently with God, and you have to stand as a watchman over your own heart. So you have to guard your capacity. I only have so much energy to give. And it was so well said yesterday with Jedediah on our call. I have to be responsible, I believe, to my family first. And so I have to be able to be sure that I have enough emotional energy for my husband and for my children, and then maybe my staff, and then our church. But that has to fall under what I give to my family first. I have to guard my emotional capacity, and that's your responsibility. You know, we always end all of these with some coaching tips, and I want to walk you through what I think are some coaching tools for you right now as we conclude our time together. And I'm asking that you write this down. This again would be like a coaching session that we would have, and you'd be writing these down. In our 8-week session, for those of you that will say you want to hire me as your coach for those 8 weeks, we actually will have Q&A time toward the end of our time, and in the chat room together, you'll be asking me questions, and we'll be coaching through some assignments together. But what I want you to do right now is I want you to write down these coaching tips because I think they're so good and so needed. The first thing I want to say to you is don't take the drama to bed with you. Don't take the drama to bed with you. Guys, do not go to bed at night. The scripture is very clear by telling us do not go to bed angry. Do not go to bed. I believe that we literally wake up angry when we go to bed angry. So whatever you have to do to resolve it, that might mean, here's what you do. You may have to write it down on a piece of paper. You may need to say, God, I'm going to give this to you tonight. I've got to sleep in peace. I may need to pick it up again in the morning to make resolution and to resolve the issue, but I am not going to go to bed with this drama on my mind, in my spirit, and on my heart. Literally let go of it at night and do not go to bed with that drama. Be smart enough to write it down, let it go to bed in peace, and then deal with it in the morning. Number 2, pray about it, don't talk about it. Pray about it, don't talk about it. Listen, these drama drainers in your life, God knows them already. So go to God in prayer. Don't talk to everybody about it. Don't keep bringing it up to everybody. Don't you be the drama person in someone else's life who is bringing the drama in your life. You may be their drama drainer. So listen, guys, it doesn't mean that you don't get counseling and get coaching, because I totally believe that people need counselors and need coaches. So there may be people in your life that you need to get some help with, for sure. But don't go to everybody else gossiping about it. You know I'm a prayer warrior. You know that's a big part of my life, and I do prayer walks. And if I've got something in my life that's hurting me or someone that I've got an issue with, I take it to God in prayer. So it's so important with these drama drainers that you pray about it and don't just talk about it. And then the last one I think is so helpful is let unhealthy relationships go. Let unhealthy relationships go. Now, listen, this is so good. Many of you may be in an unhealthy relationship with a spouse right now. That doesn't mean you walk away. That doesn't mean that you ever say, oh, life coach told me just to let it go. If you're in a marriage that's unhealthy, you need to work on it. You need to know that God is the greatest God of healing and harmony, and he wants to bring peace in your relationship. I believe that 100%. Not all marriages end in reconciliation. I understand that, but it doesn't mean that you walk away from the work. It may mean that you need to walk away from the pain. You need to let it go. You need to seek some help, but there are relationships you've got to let go. Maybe old friendships from the past, people that when you see them on social media bring up pain in your life, old relationships that aren't healthy. Now, guys, during this time right now of social media, we all are on social media because it's just kind of the means and the platform that we have communication, but you may need to delete some people from your social media. You need to let go of people that every time you see them bring up a pain from the past. Or maybe they're too dramatic on social media with how they believe about the election or this pandemic, and you're just like, every time I see them, yada, 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 then you need to unfriend them. That's your responsibility to let go of that. So these three things, don't take the drama to bed with you, pray about it, don't talk about it, and let unhealthy relationships go. That's your responsibility to be responsible with these drama drainers in your life. So here's what I want you to do right now. I want you to come up with 5 people in your life that are drama drainers. And they may not be huge drama drainers. There'll be a few. There may be someone in the family, the uncle that always brings the drama to the table. You know, there may be a neighbor that every time you walk outside, you run back in the garage because you don't want to see him because all they do is complain. You know, someone from high school that you're just in the group and you can't get out of. There'll be someone. And I want you to, on a piece of paper, write down right here, identify what those qualities that we just went through, those characteristics, those behaviors, every time you see them, this is how they are. Write those down. And then next to that, how are you going to respond? With all of the tools that I just gave you today, how are you going to respond? Write their name, Susie, Joe, Pam, whoever they are, write it down, get it, see it, and then how are you going to respond to them? That's your coaching job. That's what you have to do, because you have to take responsibility for these drama drainers to come out holistically healthy. You may need to confront it. You may need to delete them. You may need to just let it go. But whatever you need to do is your responsibility to deal with these drama drainers. Woo! Well, we just covered a lot. And of course, today wasn't necessarily an interview with a thought leader. It was just getting some good, hardcore coaching, because every one of us have drama drainers in our life. So I hope this was helpful for you today. I look forward to our Q&A time in a moment in the VIP room for some Q&A. But guys, let me just say to you right now at our conclusion, I love coaching. I've been doing this for 25 years. I love working with clients that are ready to move ahead. Now, guys, I take this very serious. I work on all of my assignments. I write them myself. I think about things that we're going through and what my clients need. So I want to encourage you to join me in this 8-part series, Stuck to Unstoppable. If you feel stuck, if you feel that you don't have the resources or the tools, you don't know where to go, you lack the confidence or maybe even the permission to move out of where you are and go into an unstoppable life of dreams and destiny, then I'm going to encourage you to sign up for this 8-week course. And as you saw, I believe Rachel is putting right there in the feed the link. You can go to the link. It tells you all about it. There's a payment plan. If you say, I'm just not capable of doing that right now, but I'm telling you what, everything that I financially have invested in to make myself better has paid off. So I want to encourage you to say, I'm worth this. I'm worth this 8-week coaching course. It will be a very intimate time with a few clients. We will be in a room where you'll be able to actually ask questions. You're going to have assignments from me. We're going to work through those assignments. So it is a coaching time together. So if you're looking for that, sign up for that time. That coaching time together will start on September the 9th. We'll have 8 weeks together on Wednesday mornings at noon. So I look forward to it, guys. I appreciate you so much. I hope this was helpful. And our time is up, but I love you guys so much. I look forward to being with you tomorrow. Now, tomorrow, I'm so excited. We have the CEO of Gilson's Markets. Gilson's Markets are a huge, beautiful, high-end market here in Southern California. But we're going to be talking to the CEO about how do you work with your staff? How do you keep good morale? How do you build a successful business? So if you know someone that would like a business coaching session tomorrow, invite them to be on our Zoom link or in our Facebook group tomorrow. And I pray you guys have a great day. Get rid of the drama in your life. Love you guys so much. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow at noon. God bless. Bye-bye.